Hello, hello, hello. It's a brand new day, and this is our morning connection. How you doing this morning? I am Skip LaCour. I'm so glad you are here. One more day. The beat goes on. The beat goes on. The beat goes on. The day is coming, whether we're ready or not, so we might as well get ready, right? Hey, tell me one thing that you thought about last night before you went to bed. This is one of our daily disciplines. Go to bed last night, and there's one thing that you're going to do today. When you attack the day, you woke up with passion and energy, right? Passion and energy that you were going to do that was going to put you ahead. More than just checking off the boxes, more than just what you're required to do. You're going to do one thing that was going to put you ahead. What was that thing? Did it marinate all night? Give you a reason to wake up in the morning excited, right? And if you haven't, think about that right now as we go through the show today. Thoughts are things. Emerson says that a man becomes what he thinks about most. And part of our daily habit, our ritual, our morning ritual, our daily discipline, our mental toughness, conditioning, exercise. It's funny about that. I say mental toughness, conditioning, exercise with the double bicep every single day. My wife said, you need to do that more. Right? That's really good. You need to do that more, right? And Johnny over on Instagram said he liked that too. Well, my wife just told me a couple days ago, I think you've done enough about the double bicep. That's good enough, right? So you guys tell me, all right? But this is our morning ritual, our habit. Waking up every single morning, just you and me connect. Hopefully I'll say something that can help you today, something you're going through right at the moment. A lot of the men who watch the morning connection just like you, they say, man, you're climbing in my mind. That show today was exactly what I needed. That's awesome. Especially when I say something positive, right? That's going to really compound all the great things going on in your life. Maybe it's not so great if you're going through a horrible challenge. Maybe I lighten that up. But you know what? Challenges are inevitable in life. But I hope I bring something to you every single day that gives you something to think about. Makes your day moving into the direction, the goals, the systems, whatever it is, the feelings and emotions you want most of that. There's something that I say every single day that helps you. And if not, it's like a ticking time bomb. There's something that I talk about that I address. I go, that's interesting. Maybe I've done that in the past. Maybe not apply to me today. But 3 days from now, 3 weeks from now, it's something you're ready for it because we talked about it, because your daily discipline, your habit, your ritual, your morning ritual, your mental toughness, conditioning, workout, and we're workout partners. You heard about it 3 days or 3 weeks before. So that's what I want this morning connection to do for you, help you out in some way, shape, or form. I'm going through this journey just like you. All right. It's just that I've been obsessed with why we as people do the things we do, and what can I do to get better and better and use my talents to the fullest. And more and more and more, and enjoy every minute of it. I've been obsessed with that for over 36 years. So this is the stuff I think about. While you're amazing, awesome at all the things that you do, this is what I've been thinking about. And so I'm just going through the journey. Right? Maybe you respect me from some of the things that I've done in the past with my bodybuilding training articles or man formation course, or what I'm doing now, getting up every single day doing this. All right, but I'm just like you, wanting more. And these are some of the things that I think about. And a lot of times I bring up topics that I'm going through too, because there's always a higher level. So I don't want you to think I got this whole thing down. Just thought about it a lot. And we as bros connecting, talk about that, think about that, and hopefully it's helpful. In this morning connection, I want to talk about how to stay calm when stressed. How to stay calm when stressed. Right? Who couldn't use a few little strategies, things, something to think about, right? Because challenges in life, they're inevitable. I don't care who you are. I don't care how conservative you are. You play it safe. You're still going to, in your capacity, even in your conservative way, you're going to take on stress. It's just all part of life. And certainly when you're pushing yourself to higher and higher levels, right? Going to territory, wanting things, experience things you've never experienced. Challenge yourself, take on more. You're going to have stress. It's easy when life is going great. When everything you plan, it's working out exactly the way you want it. You're on fire. Great feeling. If you're that way, congratulations. You've earned it. Those times don't just come without a lot of work on our part. All right, it's easy to be calm when life is going great. or just average even, right? It's those times when you're challenged. That's when you gotta stay calm, all right? Because the more calm you stay, the more access you have to all your talents and abilities, all the resources in front, all the options that are in front. You got to stay calm and stay clear-minded. How to stay calm when stressed. Also, if you're a leader of your family, I know the men who watch this, a lot of men, being a leader to their families is really important, right? You're going to have stress. You're the emotional leader. I mean, if you don't stay calm during the challenge time, what about your wife, your children? They're looking at you as the example, all right? How to stay calm where stressed. It's important for a lot of different things. What are your strategies? How much do you think about how to stay calm when stressed? I'll tell you, there was a show, and I don't watch a lot of TV, but they're usually like I gravitate towards some shows that I really love. And a lot of times it's a show that some way it kind of ties into this. It's some social media. It dovetails, it stacks with my passions in life, right? And so human nature, right? So probably have some odd things, TV shows that I watch from time to time that you might surprise you. But one of them was Mad Men. If you remember a very popular series years ago, Mad Men, it was in the 60s or so. It was an advertising agency in New York City back in the 60s. And the lead character, he was cool. He was an alpha male, all right? And one thing that he always do, because Jack Hamm was the lead actor, handsome guy, cool guy during all the situations, right? And he carried the emotional environment. He was the alpha male. He was the leader, cool guy, right? And they always had these scenes where it was, stress. Things were going nuts around him, and he was always guy. And if you knew his story, he had his challenges, alcoholism, problems with women and marriage and all this stuff that was always going on. But during those challenging times, and everybody's freaking out, he was always the calming force. Whether he felt it or not, he said, everything's going to just work out just fine. The congruent voice and body language, right? And it was, when you watch the show, he didn't necessarily feel that way at the time, but he felt the responsibility to whip him into again, the congruent body language, the voice, the facial expression, to sell it that everything's going to turn out just fine. And I always thought that was so cool, right? Just how he stayed calm when stressed, especially with those people around him. And I realized, I said, what a great strategy. What a great strategy to say that everything's going to turn out fine, even though you have no idea. A lot of things probably weren't in his control when he gave that proclamation and assured everybody that things would turn out fine. I thought about what a great no-lose situation, right? No lose, right? Because a lot of times, he wasn't responsible for it. He just promised them in that moment of stress that he was the calming force that got them to think clearly, right? The promise that everything was going to turn out fine. If it didn't turn out fine, think about it. If it did turn out fine, they're going to say, you know what? Remember we going through all that stress and things were, hell was breaking loose, and you told us everything would turn out fine, and it didn't. It was just average, or it sucked. Whenever that happens, 2 weeks, 2 hours, whatever, 2 months in the future, they're not going to look back in the circumstance and look at him and say, you know what? You told us everything was going to turn out fine. They're not, right? Because it's not really his responsibility. But he was that calming force. And I thought, wow, that's a no-lose situation. In those times, you can ascend, be the calming force that gets everybody to stay focused. What a great strategy. Think about that the next time you as a leader go in that situation, to just sell it. Because, the person who's most certain, most certain in the environment they're with, really will control the whole environment of the whole room, right? So knowing that beforehand, right? A lot of times we will step up when we don't want to let other people down. So we don't want to let ourselves down. That's one line of accountability. But when we're accountable to other people, it just kicks us into another gear. We'll do more to let ourselves down, or we'll allow ourselves to be let down more than sometimes we'll allow ourselves to let down other people, right? So you stepping up and making sure you're calm because you have to set that example. That's a great way to stay calm when stressed, right? So, but how about you? One thing that I have realized during stressful time, it's those thoughts that are going through your head at the time. Like, what are you imagining? I talk about this all the time in the show. What you imagine, what you think of, what your thoughts are in the moment, have so much to do. Some people think that they're practical, right? Well, I have no control over certain things. You got to be practical, and they have all this type of reason why they're not in control. And I'm telling you, your imagination, what you think of doing, what you think of saying, your body language, your energy in a particular moment does have an impact not only on what you think of and the decisions you make, the things you think of or don't think of in that moment, your thoughts, your imagination, what you expecting the best or not, you expecting the best from your efforts or not, you expecting the best from other people or not, plays a huge impact on what you do in that moment. What you do in the moment plays a huge part. You do have more in control. Again, your thoughts become things. A man is what he thinks about most. When I sign off on this morning connection every single day, I say these things for a reason. Expect the best from yourself today. Expect the best from your efforts, and expect the best from other people, that they'll get you. May take some time, they'll get you, right? And you are a force to be reckoned with. What you expect, what you imagine in those times during that you're being stressed are huge. They're huge. They do have an impact on what actually happens. You do have more control than you think. Control is a big thing for all of us. Many times, the outcome that we want in life, we have this, imagination, how we want a situation to turn out, any conversation, anything that we're doing, right? We want the best. We certainly want to get out of pain. I talk about that a lot. But after getting out of pain, sometimes we settle for a sense of control, right? We just want to feel certain. Even if the alternative, as long as we're not out of pain, we'll sacrifice, we'll compromise what we really want to feel in control at the moment. I'll talk about that a lot more during our time together, but control is a big, huge thing. A lot of times we compromise what we really want. We settle for feeling in control, feeling certain, right? A lot of times. I'm on a roll today. I got a lot of things to talk about, right? But a lot of us, and I find that those of us who are attracted to fitness, some religious people, those who education, they have degree after degree after degree. Military. Those of us who really love black and white structure. We work really well in structure, right? As a matter of fact, we'd rather not deal with people, right? There are too many variables going on, right? We do better with ourselves, and we prefer jobs to ourselves. Actually, people admire us, how we can stay so disciplined. Black and white structure. We may even pride ourselves in being a black and white thinker. We wish the rest of the world was more structured, more black and white, right? The world isn't black and white. It has many beautiful colors and shades, and when you understand that not going and seeing all the colors and settling for black and white when there's so many options out there may not be the best strategy, but it gives you a sense of control. One thing I notice in a lot of us, who can identify with that black and white thinking, is that what we'll do is we'll jump to the wrong conclusion, the worst case scenario, to protect ourselves. We don't want to be surprised and expect the best and then some bad thing happening. So we tend to expect the worst, all right, in times of stress. And our imagination is always preparing ourselves for the worst case situation. Even if time and time again it doesn't work out the way the conclusions that we jump to, we'd rather be safe. We'd rather just be protected, and that stress comes out. Right? I use this analogy. I've heard this version before, and I use it sometimes when I talk to my guys through my one-on-one coaching. Is that a lot of times, like you're driving, you might slip on some black ice or wet road, and you're in your car and you're sliding. All right, you're out of control. and you're doing everything. So you're out of control. It happens in life, right? And you're maneuvering the wheel, all right, and you're trying to spin out of control. You're looking at this wall, this brick wall, or this tree. That if you don't get this under control, you're going to hit that brick wall. Stress, right? Stress, right? And it's going to happen from time to time, right? And so you're doing everything right now, but the momentum of the car from maybe a mistake or misfortune of sliding, you're headed towards that wall, that tree, that obstacle, that danger, something to be stressed about. And really, there's nothing that you can do until the car corrects itself. In that moment, what are you thinking of? Are you thinking of hitting that tree, that wall, and then you just instantly dying? All right? The worst case scenario. Right? A lot of the time, that's where the stress is. We're imagining, and we go through the inevitable challenges, and then we just see the worst case scenario. We're protecting ourselves, right? This is a serious situation, right? That's why we're stressed. But just some things to think about. There are a lot of different scenarios, even though you're out of control, even though that you're in a tough situation, even though you're stressed, right? You could, at the last minute, correct yourself and then go in the right direction. I guess that's what you're hoping for. That's what you're doing, all that correction with strategies, right? You know, you could go by and just maybe nick the tree or the wall, maybe get a little bit of ding, on your car, right? You don't want that. But that's massively different than hitting that tree, that wall, and just instantly dying, right? You can hit that wall and just butt up against it, maybe a little damage. Maybe the airbags will come on, right? And, maybe little bumps and bruises. Maybe you'll break an arm, right? But think about you in times of stress, right, in the situations. There are a lot of... even though you're in that situation, you're out of control, there are a lot of other things happening besides the worst case scenario of you actually dying. What if you can, in that moment, collect yourself during those moments and stress, say, hey, this isn't good, but I'll correct myself. Or, you know what, maybe I'll get bumped and bruised. You know what, let me just tell you something in times of stress. When you experience, and then you've experienced it before, if you're a little bit older, you're watching this Morning Connection. We learn from those bumps and bruises, and every great man who you admire, has hit that tree, has hit that wall, has felt the downside of every situation by going for it. And what do they say about it? It was those times that made them strong, right? With that setback, with hitting that tree in life, so to speak, that's what gave them the strength, the resources, the perspective, the grit, the gut, right? To make it never happen again and really go on the journey that they wanted to go on and achieve their level of success that you admire. What if you thought that during those stressful times, right? Just a lot of things to think about, when you staying calm, cool, collected, keeping that imagination open. Imagination open, even though you're in a challenging situation, doesn't mean it's the worst case scenario. Are you protecting yourself? Even though time and time again, the worst case scenario never happens. Are you freaking out? Freaking out with you, and you're not opening up that imagination. Are you freaking out with the people around you? Because I'll tell you this, and we all could have this. I tell you, I'm not alone. Have you ever just freaked out? Ah, right? You lost your cool. Man, it makes me think about this. Right? Maybe too many times, right? And you're around the people that care about you, that respect you, and you overreacted. You stressed out. You didn't stay calm when stressed. And you can't take those times back. You can't take, they're done, right? Right? You've left that impression. Maybe some things to think about when you're stressed. Maybe to tell yourself everything will turn out just fine, And if you are that, you can think, oh man, this guy's making me think about all those times I freaked out and stressed out. Trust me, brother, I am there with you. Got to forgive yourself. We've all been there. Let's just make sure that we don't run in that same pattern. Same pattern. This has happened before. Why is it your pattern, your default to protect yourself, to always kind of freak out, always act extra stress, always to expect the best to expect the worst, to protect yourself, to stay in control? Are you defaulting back to that time and time again when stressed, when it never turns out that way? Maybe now is the time to start taking control and be calm. All right, guys. I want you to join my 12-week fitness transformation journey that's specifically designed for older men just like you and me. It's coming up real soon. Go to skiplecore.com/transformation. You want to go on a journey, physical, mental, emotional. You love this stuff. We're connected. For 15 weeks, you and I, through this journey, starts off with one-on-one coaching. We break down training, nutrition, the whole lifestyle. All the strategies that are effective and efficient for your life. Right, you got a busy, productive life. All those training strategies from the younger, passionate experts. Maybe you used to do that, can't do that alone. Maybe you're new to this at this age, taking care of your family and your business. Now it's the time. All right, and you're thinking, I can't do it like these kids. I can't train that long. I got things to do. You don't have to, and that's what you're going to learn through our one-on-one coaching, our 3 1-hour sessions. Right, and then we're going to join the group every single week we're going to join for the group coaching calls. We'll break it down. After this time together, all right, you'll know what to do. It's just a matter of doing it, right? You'll have that more certainty of what you do. It's a lot easier to stay motivated when you feel more certain, calm during the stressful times when you just can't crack the code. All right, I'll help you do that during this 12-week fitness transformation journey. The best thing about it is how we become friends. Now, during the 12 weeks, all right, after our 3 hours together, 3 separate coaching calls, those calls are recorded that you learn from over and over again. We stay in contact. Phone calls, we become friends. Phone calls, texts, all the way through. Keep it to a very select group. All right, so fill out that questionnaire. Let's talk about it today. skiplecore.com/transformation. All right, so that's going to do it for our morning connection. Remember to take on this day with a sense of urgency. All right, our family, our business, our health and fitness got more time behind us than we do in front of us. When we're a little bit older, we got to take on the day with that sense of urgency. Remember, everything in life runs in patterns. I don't care your biggest challenge. There is a pattern someone's figured out. Maybe you figured it out. You're on your way to figuring it out. You can keep it on, resourceful, gritty. Maybe you're like me. Sometimes you're thinking, why aren't I figuring this out? Everybody else seems to. I should be able to. Just keep on keeping on. That empowering belief that everything runs in patterns. Some are more complex than others, and your biggest challenge. You will figure it out. Even the pattern of how to stay calm when stressed. Expect the best from yourself today. Expect the best from your efforts, and expect the best from other people. They will get you your power, your energy, your passion, the value that you provide. You just keep on going. How can they not get you? How can they not get you? You are a force to be reckoned with. Have a great day.